Hey, hello, it's another time to play some cards. I know, life is going kind of crazy, so it's important that you're tapping into your feelings. And in such, right now, you may be feeling all of the big feelings that the world has, and it's important that you give yourself permission to just sit down, feel your feelings, right? Be curious about your feelings, not from a judgmental space, but from a curious space, right? The Page of Cups is typically referred to as a youthful, divine feminine creature, right? And pages are often referred to as princesses in other decks, and it's really important because it's also stated that the princesses were the very first original sources of creation. As they're that original source, it's important to be curious. Why are we doing the things that we're doing? Why are we feeling these feelings? And as such, when we can tap into and see and explore that, we can then be like, oh, well, that's what this is guiding me towards, right? If you see somebody doing something horrific, you might then feel a sense of obligation to rise up, to help defend, to help take care of, to help heal, to get up in some other person's face and make sure that doesn't happen to another person, right? And as such, we must first tap into our feelings so that we can then stand in that conviction, right? The Queen of Cups, right? Since we're just going to go to the natural progression, the Queen of Cups is somebody who can sit with the highest of her emotions and the depth of her emotions. And this is super, super important and empowering because as we know about the divine feminine body, we know that they're often feeling a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort, and there's so much that goes through every one of the cycles that the divine feminine rolls through, right? And as a result, she's able to sit with and just be like, I get it, and truly being able to speak from compassion. And when we find those really empowered divine feminine creatrixes, we see these empowered frequencies of like, I know what's going on in me, and thus I can also help you if that's of a relevant story for that particular person. Now, with the Page of Cups, we first have to dial it back, tap into our feelings. Now, how are some of ways we can do this? One, obviously, meditation, breath work, however system works best for you. There's hundreds of different systems. The second that I always like to go with is actually journaling, right? So there's like the Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, right? She actually walks you through doing 3 morning pages every single day. And through that morning page conversation, you're better able to dial into your feelings, especially if you're somebody who tends to bottle everything in. And it gives you a way to express it in a nobody's gonna see this kind of way, but you'll start to also get prompts in the Artist's Way that kind of guides you down a particular journey for you to really become your own especially creative voice and energy. So obviously also you could walk to kind of tap into your feelings. Now this isn't walking with a phone in your hand or listening to music or a podcast. This is simply walking or running in just a way of just connecting with your body and not focusing on another external source, right? This is tapping into, I mean, even this being is looking down into the water, being curious what's really there. So, I mean, this is also bringing up the conversation of mirror work. That's a really fun practice as well. And there are lots of practices. And I want to remind us all that to practice means to try something. Not that you're going to get it perfect the first time, not that you're going to reach the depth of nirvana at the first moment that you try it, but it is a consistent, daily, repetitive practice. And so with that, I hope this is helpful, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, because I know that ultimately it's about what you want to be creating for yourself. Also, thanks Higher Up Wellness for reminding me to make my post for today.